Hi, it's Pastor Penny, and it's Wednesday, November 18th. And we are in day 4 of the 10-day thankfulness challenge before Thanksgiving. So, by now, you have appreciated your small blessings. You have walked in nature or looked at it or appreciated it without doing any of that. Um, you have appreciated whatever work you do, whether it's paid or not, whether you like it or you're not, or you just do it because you have to. Whatever work God gives you, you appreciate it. So, after having done all that, this may be the most challenging day of all for some of you, because today is about loving your neighbors. Now, for some of you, that's not a challenge, but it can be a tough one. So if you live in a neighborhood or an urban area, you probably have lots of neighbors. You have neighbors all around you. Or if you live in the country, in a rural area, you might not have anyone for quite a ways out. But wherever you live, now is a good time to consider those who live closest to you. Do you know them? Have you ever talked to them? Or do they do things that frustrate or irritate you? Or are they friendly? And I know in Michigan's climate, we often don't see any of our neighbors until it gets warm outside. Do you look out for each other, especially if there's an emergency? Do they have your number? Someone you can trust? There's this commercial on TV. I just saw it last night. I thought it was so funny. And I think it's about Geico Insurance. You know how they have some really funky commercials. So this couple is talking about their neighbors above them and how they love their new place where they're living, but above them are cloggers. And so they finally, after they say some more things, the camera shows this whole family of cloggers. It looks like a cross between tap dancing and some traditional folk dance. So it's like 8 people. They're all in costumes and they're all clogging. And then they keep talking, and they show one of the boys brushing his teeth, and he's still going dancing away in there. And so apparently they do that all day. I have some neighbors above me, and I do not know who they are, and I'm not going to go knock on their door, but there are times when I am afraid the ceiling will fall in. I do not know what they do, but it's really loud, and you can feel the whole place shaking. Not that often, but enough for me to really notice. They are lead-footed or something. So anyway, neighbors can make a difference. But we all have other neighbors in our lives, do we not? The bank teller, the checkout person at the grocery store, your hairdresser, your coworkers, the mail person, wait staff, although none of us are going in restaurants right this minute, but we will, your doctor or your vet, the plumber, the handyman, a construction worker who might come to your house, movers, and anyone else who crosses your path for any reason. So whatever your relationship, we are called to thank God for all of them. That's not always easy, and you can break into song now if you'd like. Mr. Rogers, won't you be my neighbor? Oh, I can hear the singing. Okay, good. And then last, but certainly not least, we are called to love our neighbor in the Bible, in Scripture. And the first one is in Mark 12. And now, so the greatest commandment, Jesus is talking. The most important one, answered Jesus, is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. And then in Matthew, it's similar. In Matthew 22, Jesus replied, it's the same story but told differently, a little bit differently. And it's love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. And then lastly is in John, and it's during his long speech to the disciples at the Last Supper. And so he says, among many other things, my command is this. Love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I've called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I've made known to you. But mainly, love each other. One of the things he leaves his disciples with to remember and to pass on. So blessings.